Hi, my name is Priscilla Barrios, and I'm in the Special Education Credential Program at Biola University. And I'm very happy to say that I am very interested and eager to become a teacher. So I will go ahead and explain how SEED 530, Reading Process and Approaches, has benefited my field work and my hours to fulfill my experience to become a teacher. And I'll start with a little bit about myself. I do work as an instructional aide for a school called Achieve Kids. They do provide services, or education from K plus to 12th grade, as well with additional services, therapy, behaviorist, mental health therapist, and speech, vocational, and OT. These are additional services that this school provides for students. Also, I do work as a behavioral technician, and I was doing this for 4 years in a clinical setting, but now I do it as a full school setting. And also, something that really made me follow my passion into special education was my sibling. As I was obtaining my degree in criminal justice 6 years ago, he was graduating high school, so he needed additional support to find a career pathway that would suit him. So I was involved in multiple organization programs that were helping him, and that's where my passion grew. I'll go ahead and start talking about my e-portfolio and how SEED 530 was a benefit to my experience. So I chose 530 Reading Process and Approaches to come in hand with the PLO number 4, which is to design and implement appropriate adaptations to ensure the attainment of a productive learning environment for each student and enrolled in candidates classes by focused evaluation and reflection of each student's strengths and needs. Candidates will also utilize developmental and learning theories as a foundation for professional decision making and reflection by identifying students' learning needs and making appropriate adaptations to ensure student learning. And the reason why I chose this PLO was because I know that in this class we did work on 5 sections of authentic learning experience, which were the key assignments for this class. And the first section was about instructional material and learning about the students. And that's where I showed my experience of learning about specific students in the classroom that I was working for and how I use different materials and why it's important for them to be implemented in lesson plans. Second, learning about 2 focused students, one student being an English learner and another student having a disability, and I chose a student with ADHD. And here I had to show the capacity to collect knowledge from 2 particular students. And this was a really interesting experience because this is where I was able to really distinguish what an English learner is compared to a child with a disability. Also, the third section was planning for entire class instruction teaching. And this is where I had to show my ability to plan instruction. And this was also another interesting experience because it wasn't just based on the 2 focus students. Now it was an entire classroom and how I had to really focus on how to find appropriate instructions for the EL learner student and the student that I chose with a disability, which is ADHD. And then the 4th section is lesson changes for the 2 focus students. I had to show my willingness to assess and require changes to the lesson program for the 2 students who I was particularly using for this section of my authentic learning experience. And This was also challenging at times because it does change. Students do change. There's behaviors that change. There is also their learning process. I'm learning about their learning process. So that was something very useful for me to understand, and how to immediately make changes when I am teaching a lesson plan, or how to use the instructional aides who were working along with me to help to support both the English learner and the student with ADHD. Also, the fifth section was reflection on relating instructional preparation to student traits. And this was just an overall reflection where my desire to incorporate what I have experienced to enhance my potential and preparation in the future was really amazing, because that's where I was able to reflect on my own, what I had learned from all these 5 sections, and what I learned about the students' characteristics, not just the two specific students I was working for this authentic learning experience, but also for other students in the classroom. And this is where I know that I have improved in my instruction, my planning, and how I use my materials, how to incorporate different activities in the classroom, and also how to work with instructional aids that can be of use while you're teaching a lesson plan, and how to reflect on things where I would currently make mistakes and then have to go back and approach different methods. So I knew that maybe that would be an adaptable instructional strategy to use for my lesson plan in the classroom. Overall, I was able to use my fieldwork to use my fieldwork to really implement everything that I use in this classroom. And also, if I become a teacher, this will also be something that I know that was useful, that I can rely back on and say, oh, this is where I've learned my instructions, where to adapt certain strategies for specific students. I hope you like my e-portfolio. There is other couple of classes that you're more than welcome to look at. Please, if you have any questions, if you would like to hear about my feedback or my field work that I did for this class, please let me know. And thank you so much.